Hi, welcome to my kitchen. I am Renee and it is a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and that's when I usually do my Facebook Lives. I'm sharing with you today a amazing recipe. It's mango sticky rice and it's also Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the world. And I actually want to share a story. My company, True Nosh, is created because my father had diabetes and he passed away about 10 years ago with complications of diabetes. He also had Alzheimer's and some heart disease. And this is what I am here to try to help prevent diseases like diabetes and heart disease and high blood pressure. And we're all here fighting this disease together, not just COVID-19. But we're all in the kitchen because we love cooking during this time, and I'm sharing with you this recipe that I've created. Because I don't use any sugar in the kitchen, we're going to use a pear or an apple. So today I have a pear. Those of you who actually signed up for this course, thank you for donating. If you want to donate to us to support a local small company, you can e-transfer us to info@truenosh.com, and we really appreciate it. I used to teach my classes in person, and I really enjoy that, but now because we are trying to combat this virus, we're doing it at my home and in my kitchen so you guys can follow along with ingredients. So I have either a small pear or an apple. Mango, obviously, is the star of our cooking class today. So I have this is a Southeast Asian type of mango, so a Filipino version, or it's grown in Thailand, and this is a really major dessert in Thailand. And I love Thailand so much that I've been there twice in the last 2 years, and I can't wait to go back because there's so much to see. And then we have a can of coconut milk. Go ahead and shake it around. We don't need it separated. I have about a little bit of water, and then cutting board and spatula. And I have some sticky rice here, okay? And this is a pearl rice. It's very white and pearly. It is also called glutinous rice. Glutinous with an I, not an E, so there's no gluten in it. And today's class is strictly gluten-free. My partner is celiac, so he can't eat any gluten, so I'm gonna actually share this with him without worrying. Also, if you have in your pantry, I can put in a little bit of quinoa. And with True Nosh, we make a wonderful gluten-free, sugar-free food line. In the back, you can see some of my packaged items. Granolas, I have a mixed grain rice, which I'm actually going to use. So if you have a mixed grain rice, go ahead and do that. And you don't go get your brown rice or your quinoa, you can add that into your sticky rice, because sticky rice has a higher glycemic index, meaning it turns into sugar a little bit faster than if you were to add some fiber into it. So quinoa has fiber and protein. Brown rice has also a lot more fiber, and that will stop you from digesting it too quickly and then not absorbing it so quickly. So that's good for preventing diseases like diabetes or preventing any types of fluctuations in your blood sugar. Okay, so go ahead and grab that and some water. I've washed this already. You just have to rinse it out a few times. And then what I'm going to do is grab your mixing rice or your quinoa. So this is what we have at True Nosh. And you can also make your own mixed grain rice too. What I have here is I actually teach this in my Thai cooking class, or my Hainanese cooking classes in person. And we're also going to be sharing those recipes on Skillshare soon. Very soon, we're doing a lot of video recordings. If you guys are interested, please stay tuned, check out our website and sign up for a newsletter on truenosh.com. I'm going to put about 1 cup worth of mixed grain rice, and it's already going to make the rice really beautiful. Okay. If you want to cook this a lot quicker, you can soak this overnight, and it will cook really fast. So what we're going to do is put in some water, and then we're going to start cooking it. So that was 1.5 cups of water to 2 cups of rice, and that's actually not enough to cook it entirely. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna just put a cover on top of the rice and turn it on to high so it actually boils. What we're going to do now is to open our coconut milk, and we're going to add in the pear. And then what that does is actually sweetens the milk. I want to really reiterate here that we're not using any processed sugar. It does take a little bit to get used to, but it is an acquired taste. So the more sweet you have in your life, the more you crave it, just like salt. So you actually have to slowly take it out a little bit at a time. So if you're used to using 1 teaspoon of sugar in your coffee, tomorrow maybe try to use a little bit less, like a pinch less, and the next day just another pinch less. So you're not drastically changing your lifestyle, right? So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to pour in all the coconut milk. Smells really, really coconutty, which I love. And we're going to cut in the pear. And I have a Bartlett pear here. You can use a ripe apple too. Pears are a little bit sweeter than apples. So if you decide to use apple, you might need to add a little bit more of an apple. So a larger apple would be great. If you have a sweeter apple like a Red Delicious or a pink or a Gala apple, you can use that too. All right, so we're going to add that into our coconut milk. I'm going to cut up the pear so it's easier on my blender, so I don't need to buy new blenders every year. I can save the lives of my blender and hopefully buy it every 10 years. So I'm just going to cut them into small pieces, add it to my coconut milk. And then this part is very important. A little pinch of salt makes a little bit of the sweetness actually come out more. So brings out the sweetness, a little bit of pinch of salt. So for the whole can of coconut milk, I'm going to add about a quarter teaspoon of salt into that. And then I have a handheld blender that I've been using for the last 5 years. And we're going to blend the fruits into the coconut milk. Okay, so some of you might wonder what type of coconut milk or coconut cream to buy. It doesn't really matter as long as it is coconut milk. If you buy coconut cream, it's a lot thicker, so you want to add a little bit more water to dilute it a little bit so it's more liquidy, right? More watery. And if you have more of a liquidy milk, then you want to not add as much water, okay? So we're gonna wait till the rice boils before adding the rest of the coconut milk. And now I'm gonna talk about my mango, all right? Let's get a beautiful plate because we're gonna plate this really nicely and serve it to your loved ones. So this is usually a small dessert. You can buy this in the Thai markets, food stalls. Oops, my blender fell. I'm just going to put it down here. And I'm going to teach you how to cut the mango. It's really up to you how you want to cut the mango. Honestly, I love mangoes that are ripe, and I'm just going to cut it in half and then use a spoon to scoop it up. Or if you really want to, you can also, I'm going to take this, oh, it is boiling a little bit. You can get a cup, and when you cut it in half, like this, make sure that you cut it a little bit off center because there's a big seed in the middle. So usually I use this little stem to gauge where I cut it. And then you get half of the mango off. And then same thing with this side. Be careful your fingers. And you can cut half of the mango off. Just like this. So the closer to the seed, the better, the more flesh you get. And one thing I'm sure you guys have seen on YouTube, you can use a glass like this and slide it on the side of the mango and then scoop it out with the glass. So press the skin on the gas, and then ta-da, you have a whole mango that has been peeled. Or if you want to do this with a knife, you can go ahead and just peel the skin off like this. And it really doesn't matter what you want to do, is both ways are perfectly fine. And if you also want to cut it like an avocado, you can cut it in the middle, zigzag, and then just peel off the skin and you'll get diced mangoes. So that's also another way that you can present this. I'm actually going to make some mango roses with you today to make it a little bit more fancy. But no, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. But I'm just going to show you how easy it is, and maybe you can experiment at home. Okay, so with this, I'm just going to finish peeling the mango. I can hear the rice boiling. Don't worry, I won't let it burn. And after I peel the mango, I'm going to go ahead and put half of, a little bit more than half of the coconut milk in, okay? So let me clean up my skin, stick it in this cup. And then I'm going to open my pot and we're going to put in a little bit more than half the coconut milk in. Okay? And you want to use your spatula to mix that all up. Now the rice is going to soak up all the liquid, including the coconut milk, and this will make the rice really, really sticky and coconutty, and that's exactly what we want. So you want to keep stirring this because you don't, now there's coconut milk in here and pear. It's going to burn a little bit more easily than if it was just water, okay? So you're technically making a sweet risotto here. And by stirring it, you're not letting the bottom of the pan stick. And then if it doesn't stick, then it won't burn. Okay. Smells amazing already. And I can't wait to serve it. So this dessert is served room temperature. You can serve it cold as well. Either way works. Warm is fine also. Like on a colder day, I mean, a warm dessert is always fine. But Thailand is always hot, right? So a lot of times it's either served room temperature or it's cold. Okay, so you just want to keep stirring. And not let the bottom burn. And then you're going to add a little bit more of the liquid once it's all absorbed. Those of you who's made risotto before know what I'm doing. I'm just slowly mixing the rice, and it's going to be a nice still gooey texture, but you still see the texture, right, of the rice, right? So we're technically making a rice pudding or a sweet risotto. And you want to add the coconut milk gradually, because I want it to absorb into the rice gradually, not all at once. And I don't want you to use all the coconut milk because we want to leave a little bit, maybe about 4 tablespoons, 3 or 4 tablespoons, to use it as garnish at the end. And the heat is at a little bit like low medium the whole time. All right, so those of you who also have a rice cooker can use the rice cooker to cook the sticky rice and then mix in half of the coconut milk after the rice cooks. And that would be just fine. But we're using a little bit of mixed grain rice here. Not that you have to use the mixed grain rice, but it's an option because we want to increase the glycemic index of our dessert so it doesn't turn into sugar as quickly in our digestive system, right? Okay, so another bit goes in, and then I'm saving about 3 or 4 tablespoons here, and we're going to use it as garnish later on. All right, so after the last bit of coconut milk goes in, I'm going to turn off the heat. And once I turn off the heat, the rice is still going to be cooking. And then I'm going to put the top on. Okay, it's going to be off. And then I'm going to finish talking about the mangoes. So the mango that was cut with the cup or the glass is a little bit less smooth than the mango in that was cut with a knife. So I'm going to come up to the camera a little bit closer so you guys can see the difference between the two mangoes that was cut. This one, the front one, was cut with the glass, and then the back one was just cut with the knife. And you can see the different smoothnesses of the mango. And it doesn't really matter which way you cut it. If you're serving your some guests, you can cut it nicer. So what we're going to do right now is to make roses with our mango. And what you want to do is to slice it diagonally. So what I'm doing is slicing my mango into thinner pieces. Be careful, don't cut your fingers. All right, so once it becomes like this, you can sort of maneuver it with your hands, and you can slowly spread it out. So it's all staggered like this, right? And then this is when you can get it long enough to curl it into a rose shape, which means you're just going to turn it in a circular direction. Okay, so something around this line, then you can start curling it into itself like this. And then it will slowly become like rose petals. And it will be such a beautiful sight on your plate as a presentation with the sticky rice. Okay, so doesn't that look beautiful? It's like a big flower. Okay, so now how are you gonna get it off the plate? You gotta get it off the plate by sliding it onto the plate with the knife and just slowly scrape it off with your fingers. Oops. And then come into the plate. Okay, so we did lose a little bit, but you can reshape it as you plate it. Okay, so there we go. Okay, here you go. Round circle, rose, and then the other ones you can do inside. Okay, so that, my friends, we've saved the mango into a nice little decoration, and then that would be a beautiful dish when we are done with the mango sticky, when we're done with the sticky rice. So that's been about 2 minutes since I covered it, and it's really sticky already. Ooh. And you don't want to serve it right away if you don't want it hot. You can put it in the fridge or just leave it until it gets into room temperature and then serve it. But because our video is only so long and we're going to get ready to do some yoga, I'm going to show you how I usually like to serve it. So you can get 2 spoons, a big spoon, and we're going to do a really quick quenelle. Okay, I will show you. So once the rice has cooled down, you can grab 2 large spoons and then start making sort of an oval shape with each spoon. And it will become nice little shapes like an egg shaped, okay? And then you can sort of serve it alongside your mango. And remember, we kept some coconut milk with our pear, and that's what we're going to use as garnish. And some of you might want to add some crunch to this, and that is also fine. So what happens with the crunch is going to add an extra texture to it, and I'm going to go to my obvious choice, which is the True Nosh granola, and that's up for Product of the Year. So we're nominated this year for BC Food and Beverage Awards. So if you guys watching this, please go onto the website bcfbawards.com/vote. And please vote for the True Nosh Goji granola, and I would really appreciate us getting to the next level. So I'm going to add a little bit of granola on here. My granola has goji berries, pumpkin seeds, and cinnamon, and that will give you a little bit of a crunch to your dessert. And then one more thing is a garnish. So in my garden outside, I planted some mint. I'm just going to go outside and prick a little bit and add it to the top of that. And then you can just actually put this in your fridge, and when your guests come, or you know, Father's Day is today, you can probably serve this to your dad and eat it with him. And you can enjoy it together. So let me go out and get a little bit of a mint slice. So we'll just add a little bit of a color to this guy. And then we can get ready to do a little bit of vinyasa yoga. Ta-da! That was easy, wasn't it? Yeah, it wasn't as hard as you thought it was, right? And you can give yourself a pat on the back because you have another mango, and you can make another one for yourself after we do some yoga. All right, so I'm gonna get my apron off, get ready to go into the other room. If you guys want to get your mats, we're also gonna just do some stretches as well. And thank you for joining me, and I hope you guys had fun making some mango sticky rice with me. And we'll see you hopefully in another episode of our True Nosh Kitchen on Sunday afternoon lives. We also are doing some Zoom classes, and we're getting ready for our store opening in the fall. So hopefully you guys stay tuned with all our offerings and can support a small local business. That's going to be so exciting to see you guys again in the farmers markets that are coming up. Okay, thank you, and let's get ready for some yoga.